Hello, everyone. I'm Carmen Follietta, and I'm the chair of Ottawa Distinguished Women. So for those of you that don't know, Ottawa Distinguished Women is dedicated to recognizing and documenting local Ottawa women whose achievements and contributions have had a positive impact on Ottawa, our nation, and in many instances globally. So one of our objectives is to inspire and encourage young women to do the same. And so today I am pleased to introduce to you one of our honorees, a woman of inspiration, Cathy Skinner, who's on screen with us right now. Hello, Cathy.
Hi, great to be
Great.
here.
So before we get to know you a little bit, I just want to share with our viewers a little bit about Cathy. So Cathy is a highly regarded coach and recognized by her peers for her unparalleled contributions in supporting Canadian figure skaters, and especially Special Olympic athletes in realizing their goals. She has received numerous awards for her coaching work, including Ottawa Sports Lifetime Achievement Award for Sports Volunteer, the Special Olympics Ottawa Female Coach of the Year, among many, many, many other awards. She continues to work and to dedicate herself to open doors and make figure skating accessible and, I would say, enjoyable for all. So if you want to find out more about Cathy and some of our other honorees, please visit our website. So Cathy, once again, welcome and thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you. This is an honor.
Great. Well, it is an honor to have you. So I just want to get to know you a little bit more. So I wanted to ask you, what motivated you in terms of your coaching work to start to focus on Special Olympics, and how did all of that come about?
I think that really it all kind of happened unexpectedly. I'd already been coaching figure skating for over 30 years, and a special needs skater actually enrolled in our teen adult program at the club. I seemed to really click with him, and so his mother asked if I would be interested in working on him one-on-one. And after coaching him for just a short while, I was asked by a Special Olympics Ontario member if I could help out at Ottawa group program once a week that was being held at McNabb. So I was able to switch around my coaching schedule to fit that in. So now I was working with a whole group of special needs athletes. From there, some of these athletes that also lived in the West End where I am, they also wanted some individual work. So they came to my second club out here. And fortunately, our club president was really interested in adding another faucet to the programming, help make it more inclusive for everyone. And so we started working through the many requirements, get a Special Olympics club designation, and we worked really hard to build up that program in the club, and it's continued to evolve over the years.
And it's grown. And
yeah.
So in your work of working with Special Olympians, and I remember, I think it was the last time Tessa and Scott toured, it was, I don't know, Rock the Rink or something like that. Two of your students in ice dance were touring that won, I think, medals at the Special Olympics, and were touring with Tessa and Scott. And I just remember the warmth of the audience and appreciation for what they were doing. They were so good. I have to say they were so good. And I thought of you, imagine how proud you must be. What have you learned in terms of working with the Special Olympics movement, and what have you learned from your students? I'm sure you've learned a lot from them as they've learned from you.
Oh gosh, I think I've learned more from them than they've learned from me. All the Special Olympic athletes are very different from each other, even more so, I would say, than the mainstream athlete. I've had to learn patience and change up some of my teaching techniques to better suit them individually, and teach them a little bit differently, but I didn't change my basic ideas of making them the best they could be.
Right.
And I found that when I first started taking them to competition, some of the coaches from other regions, they did treat them differently. They didn't expect as much of them, and so they didn't push them. Whereas I taught them just like my mainstream athlete, and consequently, they ended up doing really well in competition. I've been really fortunate with their success that they've had. And talking to other coaches and their parents, their parents saying they've gone on to do things that they never would have dreamed of.
Wow.
Them accomplishing. So that's a real bonus.
That must be so rewarding and validating for you to see that growth of first of all, your skaters at all levels, but particularly, skaters with special needs that are often shut out of even having the opportunity just to play and to participate. And so
Sure.
what you're saying is, yeah, not only should you play and participate, and I think that has an important teaching to other kids and skaters and coaches as well, but look what they can do when you give them a chance and you push them a bit to be the best that they can be. And so what you're saying is they just rise to the occasion.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And the way that my skaters in skating on sessions with the mainstream athlete and seeing what they are able to do, they realize for themselves too that, dream big and the sky's the limit. And so it really has been. I mean, they've, numerous of them have competed nationally and internationally. And so it's pretty exciting for everyone.
I'm sure it is. So what do you attribute in terms of, well, maybe I should ask you some of the question first of like, there's obviously been some challenges that you've encountered in advocating for Special Olympics, for Special Olympic skaters. What have been some of those challenges and how have you been able to overcome them?
I think one of my biggest challenges has been in including them in the mainstream programs simply because of they tend to be older, stronger, larger than many of the mainstream athletes at their level would be. But of course, that would be unsafe, having them on the same session as that. And then again, when you put them on a higher level session with skaters more their size or age, or again, it's harder because as well, they can't anticipate what is going to happen with some of the mainstream skaters.
And there's a lot of movement on the ice.
Constant.
Constant. Yeah. I think that's what people like, like it's just constant jumps and spins and legs flying all over. So there is a bit of a safety issue as well, right? Anticipating. Yeah.
And they're not aware often of, programs or dance patterns or so to know how to get out of the way. So it's been a real education for the other skaters, for the other coaches, especially when they come in from other clubs, and haven't had the opportunity to skate with them on the ice. I would speak to the coach ahead of time and say, if maybe their skaters could look out for them a little bit, that would help everyone. And we've had no problems, but I think that's sort of been the biggest sort of stumbling block. And then once the mainstream skaters have been involved with them, it's like opened up another world to them as well. I think the biggest example of that, twice I've had athletes go to the Canada Winter Games, and figure skating is one of the very, very few sports where Special Olympics athletes are also there. otherwise it's all quite high level mainstream athlete in a variety of sport. And so when these athletes go, they stay in the same room as,
Love it.
like, yeah, the first time there were 8 athletes in a room, 4 sets of bunk beds, and, 2 of them being special needs. So some of these athletes had never been exposed to this, and they were a little bit timid at
I'm sure,
first.
yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah. And I mean, oh my gosh, the experiences both for them and for my skaters, they all just grew by leaps and bounds. Seeing them interact and just not knowing at first what they were capable of, and then later, I remember the boys, they were quizzing one of my athletes all these math questions. They were amazed that he could do all, and they're looking at each other, and the girls were doing facial masks on my
Wonderful.
athlete.
That's wonderful.
It was awesome.
It is
Yeah,
awesome. And isn't that, people just want to be accepted for who they are, right? And given a chance, just given
exactly.
a chance to learn, to grow, to show what they can do. And that's a beautiful story of where, inclusion, the beauty of inclusion and why it matters, and just the benefits. I'm sure for the competitive athlete, how must they have been so inspired by your students to go out and face these challenges and persevere.
Oh yeah, and then like a year later at our skating club, we had a high level competition, and
Mhm.
I had 2 different parents come up to me whose athletes were there, in the mainstream. And I mean, they wouldn't have otherwise known me because
Right.
I didn't have skaters at that level. And they said they were so appreciative, and they still, their child spoke about memories. And so that's really neat that they
And
had that impact.
yeah, and I think there's both, not just in sport, but I think even in the workplace. And I look at my former employer in the federal government, and I was so honored to have some employees with special needs, and to see them just grow into the
Mhm.
organization that they had a role and a job and a purpose every day. And yes, we had to make some accommodations, but
Adjustments.
I
Yeah,
tell you, what everyone got back was far
exactly.
more than what we could ever give. And I think in society we have to do more to be inclusive. And
Mhm.
so I really commend you for the work that you're doing. Have you had role models yourself in this journey, in terms of coaching and Special Olympics, that have influenced you, Cathy?
Um, I think because I came from a little bit different background in Special Olympics, as in any mainstream sport, at the lower levels, parents tend to get involved because their children are involved. So most Special Olympic coaches are there because they had children involved. We never had a special needs child. And so that wasn't how I got involved. Once I started getting involved with competitions and that, I had, definite role models with the Special Olympic coaches, many of them who had many more years experience than I did in Special Olympics. So see their dedication and enthusiasm all these years later, that was, it couldn't help but rub off on
Yeah.
anyone around them. But I think even more than these coaches, it was the athletes themselves that inspired me, and made me want to continue. I just love working with them, and give these athletes opportunities and show them the success that they might otherwise not experience is
Right.
so rewarding for both them and
That's
myself.
one of the things that has come out when I read your bio, and as chair of the jury committee, the nomination that went forward with you and from some of your peers is your enthusiasm, your
Mhm.
positivity, your enthusiasm for just all skaters, and that level of energy and positive enthusiasm that you bring in making all these skaters feel really special. And I think that that is something that it just comes from within you, and it really shines through, Cathy.
No, thanks.
So obviously you're being very inspired by your work. So a couple last questions for you is that I think that there are a lot of opportunities to use one's talent to contribute to making community better, to helping and serving others. And you started a skater like everyone else, and then you did professional skating with Ice Capades, and then was it Ice Capades, and then
Mhm.
coaching, and then into Special Olympics and some of the work. You've become an advocate for these athletes. What advice would you give to someone younger that is thinking about using their talents that way and becoming a little bit of a trailblazer to try new things as you've done? What advice would you give them?
Um, well, I know for Special Olympics, I mean, they are always looking for volunteers for their program. Figure skating is just one of the many, many sports that is offered. Young people have to be at least 14 to be able to volunteer with Special Olympics, and obviously have a pace check for the vulnerable sector. I think it's an awesome opportunity for anyone, and I would highly recommend getting involved. In fact, after being involved for a few years, myself being involved, my husband then started up a Special Olympics golf program here in Ottawa
Oh, great.
because there was none.
So you've inspired him.
Yeah, like it just rubs off on people, many Special Olympic athletes do multiple sports, so you encounter them in different environments, and
Wonderful.
so it's just so rewarding working with these athletes that while helping them grow as people, I myself are continually growing and learning
Mhm.
and hopefully becoming a better person.
So if people are watching this and are interested in Special Olympics, where would they go? Special Olympics website, or how would they go about that?
There is a Special Olympics Ottawa
Mhm.
chapter. I mean, there are chapters all across the country. You can either go on Special Olympics on Canada, Ontario, Special Olympics Ottawa. They all have website, Facebook pages, all the social media now that's available. So, oh
So
yeah,
this,
it's
so viewers, check that out if you're interested in helping out with Special Olympics, maybe one-time event or what have you.
yeah,
You should check out Special Olympics Ottawa and just take it from there and see how you can get involved.
sure, for sure.
Okay, great. So one final question, what's next for you on this journey?
Oh, I don't know. I guess it's just keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I want to continue to showcase these athletes, make them the best they can be,
Mhm.
um, continue to be an advocate for them, uh, stand up for them, showcase them. I think, one of my proudest moments is having rink named after two of my athletes
Yeah.
here in Ottawa, City of Ottawa rink. And we were told this is the first time ever in Canada that anything of this magnitude, has happened. So that was just for the whole special needs community, it was showing them what's possible. And so, yeah,
That,
just
that's
keep
amazing.
helping them.
Right. So yeah, here, more rinks and more parks named after Special Olympians. I think that that is a worthy cause for sure. I can get behind that. All right. So, well, Cathy, thank you so much for your time, but more importantly, thank you for your service. Thank you for all that you are doing for Ottawa's athletes, in particular our Special Olympians. And I think anybody watching this would say, "Oh my goodness, what a terrific advocate and champion that Special Olympians have in you." So I really want to thank you for your time, and to remind viewers that if you want to find out more about Femmes Remarquables, Ottawa Distinguished Women, go on our website, FROttawaDW.ca, or just Google Femmes Remarquables, Ottawa Distinguished Women to find out more. And if you know of some dynamic people that should be honored, you can find all the information on how to nominate them. So Cathy, once again, thank you so much. And we look forward to seeing all the Special Olympians that are coming out under your tutelage. Thank you so much.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to spread the word and hopefully get other people involved.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Bye-bye.